My name is Hannah Reed, and this is the story of how I destroyed the one person who loved me unconditionally, and how years later, his silence hurts more than any punishment could. I cheated on my husband, Mark, for 4 years. It wasn't constant or planned, just a long, slow unraveling of loyalty that I justified with excuses I told myself late at night. When I met Mark, he was everything I thought I wanted. Steady, kind, patient, the kind of man who never raised his voice even when life got hard. We married young, built a life out of love and ambition, and for the first few years, everything felt perfect. But comfort, I've learned, can sometimes become a quiet poison. When you start taking love for granted, you stop seeing it as a gift. It began when I took a new job in marketing. That's where I met Evan. Charismatic, funny, always knowing what to say. He noticed me in ways Mark hadn't lately. A compliment here, a lingering look there. It was innocent at first. Then came the late-night texts, the business trips, the excuses. I told myself I was just finding what I'd lost, not realizing I was throwing away the only person who had ever truly cared for me. Evan wasn't even special. He was a thrill, a distraction, a mirror for my insecurities. Yet I kept going year after year, lying to Mark's face, letting him believe we were fine. He'd make me breakfast before work, ask about my day, and I'd smile, pretending everything was normal while carrying a secret that grew heavier every night. The worst part. He trusted me completely. Even when I started coming home late or dodging his affection, he never questioned my loyalty. Once he even said, "I don't know how I got lucky enough to have you." I remember laughing and kissing his cheek, feeling my stomach twist with guilt. But guilt doesn't stop you when you're too deep in denial. It just becomes part of your routine. 4 years went by before it all came crashing down. One night, I forgot my phone at home. When I returned, Mark was sitting on the couch, holding it. His face was pale, his hands shaking. "Who's Evan?" he asked quietly. I tried to speak, but my throat went dry. There was no shouting, no anger, just heartbreak in his eyes that cut deeper than any scream ever could. I confessed everything. Every lie, every meeting, every betrayal. I thought maybe the truth would free me, but instead, it caged me in shame. Mark didn't say a word for a long time. Then, in a voice so calm it scared me, he said, "You didn't just cheat on me, Hannah. You cheated on our life." That night, he packed a small bag and left. No goodbye, no second chances. I thought he'd come back once the shock faded. After all, we'd been together for nearly a decade. But he never did. The divorce was quiet, almost emotionless. He signed the papers, handed them to me, and walked out of the lawyer's office without looking back. I tried calling, texting, begging him to meet just once, but he blocked me everywhere. His silence became my punishment. Evan moved on too. Whatever I thought we had was never real. Once the thrill was gone, so was he. I was left alone, surrounded by the ruins of the life I'd destroyed with my own hands. Years passed. I focused on work, moved to another city, tried to rebuild myself. But sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I still saw Mark's face in my mind, the way he used to look at me like I was his whole world. I heard from mutual friends that he'd remarried. His new wife is kind, gentle, and apparently, he's happier than ever. When I saw their wedding photos online, I felt a strange mix of pain and relief. Pain because that happiness used to be mine. Relief because maybe he finally got the peace I took from him. Then, about a month ago, fate decided to twist the knife. I ran into him at a charity event. He looked older, stronger, more confident. When our eyes met, my breath caught. He smiled politely, nodded, and walked past me like I was a stranger. That single gesture shattered me more than his departure years ago. Because that was the moment I realized, I didn't just lose him. I'd erased myself from his story. People say time heals everything, but it doesn't heal what you refuse to face. I spent years pretending I'd made peace with what I did, but seeing him proved otherwise. Mark doesn't hate me. He simply doesn't care anymore. And that indifference is the sharpest form of revenge life could have given him. Sometimes I wonder what I'd say if I could talk to him one last time. Maybe I'd apologize again. Maybe I'd tell him he was the best thing that ever happened to me. But deep down, I know he doesn't need to hear it. He already learned the lesson I didn't, that love isn't proven by words or apologies, but by loyalty when no one's watching. So now I live with my choices, quietly. Every smile I see between two people who still believe in each other reminds me of what I threw away. I cheated for 4 years, and in return, I lost forever the only man who ever truly loved me. And no matter how much time passes, that's a wound that will never completely heal.